Hello, hello, this is Jen. I hope everybody's good. I'm here with an energy update. Thanks for being here. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not new. Thanks for being here. Um, let's start with the collective. Many things happening, and I know it can happen that some people do not resonate with those energy updates. That's fine, that's cool. In the collective, a huge shift is in progress right now. Just starting, it's just the beginning. We are witnessing the beginning of eclipse season. That's what I want to call pre-eclipse season. And I believe it's on June 17th. We will have a full moon followed by the summer solstice on the 21st, for my part of the world at least. And then the first eclipse, I believe, is in July. The first eclipse, I think it's early in July. I can't remember the date. But this is going to be a huge pivotal moment, that first eclipse. It will change and bring us to a completely different level of consciousness, a higher one. So what right now, what we are witnessing is the collective feeling growing pains. It's not always comfortable to change. It's not always comfortable to grow and to grow into something that we're not sure of, that might be foreign to us. It can bring a lot of fears, resistance, of doubts, like, well, yeah, I want to, but I don't want to leave this. All kinds of stuff, behaviors that are out of our normal way of being. And this is really a collective thing going on right now. A lot of people are totally lashing out for no reason other than their own personal growth. But they're lashing out on other people because they fail to see that there's a mirror effect going on. And that's okay. That's part of growth. And as human beings, our job is to forgive, to support, to love more, and to just be. Support these people into going towards the next step. I mentioned failing to see the mirror effect because what we see in others, we have, we do, we are. So whenever we are looking at someone, complaining, or accusing someone of doing something, we do it ourselves, unless we have reached that level of balance where a huge amount of healing and ego work has been done, which very few people can brag about, because not many people have reached that level. Even people on YouTube, even spiritual teachers or so-called spiritual teachers. I have nothing against spiritual teachers, but I find that the real teachers are the ones that are not making noise, are the ones that are not putting themselves too much out there. They may write a book, put out a few videos, but that's it. They don't push. They do their thing. They lead by example. So yes, the collective, there's like this huge bubble in progress right now, being inflated by all these things that need to be released. And a lot of people are unaware of this. They're just feeling uncomfortable. They're just feeling like, oh my God, I need to release that pressure. Where's the valve, the pressure valve, so that I can, let out some steam. And it's a hard phase because this is where we get a lot of negativity, opposition, people resisting, standing up against our beliefs or our ideas. And that goes for every department of our lives. I'm not only talking about spiritually, but physically. So if lately you've been in that kind of energy, stay calm and chill and just accept things for what they are right now, because we are working all together into shifting that collective energy. And for these people that are lashing out, they will see their truth. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, saying, oh, it's always the same thing. The truth will come out. The thing to understand is that the truth always comes out when someone is ready to receive it, whether they are aware of it or not. It's not a huge thing that happens all over the world all at once. It's on an individual basis, according to the people involved, according to each and everyone's journey. And the truth is going to be revealed for these people to realize and to understand why they are behaving this way, why they're acting this way. And if you are on the receiving end of someone lashing out, the best thing to do is love. Love more. But also put boundaries if the need to make that stop is present. A lot of people will be called into a slightly different path. A lot of things are done, cooked, over. It's the end of an era, of a phase, and the beginning of a new one. So a lot of people lately have been feeling a bit lost, not knowing where to go. This is what we were feeling. And now we should start seeing more clearly, this is where I should go. I'm still reflecting on that, but I think this is where I should go. And when you have that call, it's time to act on it. It's time to explore it. At least explore the options that are there and available. It's a call for a deeper layer of your authentic self. It's a call to say, I am done with this person, and no matter what level we are looking at, romantically, professionally, friendship-wise, just say, or it's time really to realize that some people have done what they were meant to do in our lives, and it's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye, move on, go look or let yourself be guided to the next thing. And that ties into the eclipse season. So from now until the first eclipse of the season, it's prep time. It's really make the space for what's coming, because it is coming. It might not be what you want. It is what you need, though. Because when we are into that flow of the universe and we let ourselves be guided, the universe will always bring what we need. Because what we want is from the ego. It's an image, an identity that our ego is trying to make us believe as our own truth or authentic self. So therefore, if you're stuck in your ego, perhaps what's going to show up is a lesson for you to realize, hey, you're in your ego. Go back to your heart. If you are in your heart, it might just be that manifestation that you've been working on for so long. As far as the divine masculine goes, I believe and I'm seeing and I'm sensing, and it shows up in the collective energy, that they are the ones that are most affected by this shift. The old paradigms of I need to be strong, I'm always right, need to go out the door, for them to embrace their feminine side a lot more. And that takes a long time to do. It's not a change or consciousness that can happen overnight, even though It can, but it's not the majority. The majority takes time. And that's what they're going through right now. So a lot of divine masculine, and I'm referring to the energy, so it can happen to a female as well. But a lot of people are just lashing out, like I said, because they are unaware of their own resistance, their own blockage or resistance to that change. And change happens when we're ready to receive it, whether we see it or not. So I'd like to say and think it's time to hug the cactus. It can be painful, but it's for growth purposes. It's for your own highest good, our own highest good. And it's time to just open our arms real wide to receive it. And not stay stuck in, yeah, but I thought my life would be this way. Yeah, but I thought this would happen this way. Who cares? I mean, I don't want to seem heartless when I say that, but if it didn't happen in the past, time to leave it in the past. And time to be open to whatever is possible in the present and in the future. It's really a good time, and I've mentioned this book before, good time to go read A New Earth. We are moving closer to the new earth, a place where the ego has no place to live. As human beings, though, the ego will always be part of us. The point is to know how to deal with it. The point is to be aware when the ego is trying to take over a situation. And just go back into the heart, go back into being centered. The heart knows. The heart knows the truth. The heart knows where to go. And that's the only thing we should follow. So as far as twin flames go, I know that a lot of people are just like, okay, I don't believe in this concept anymore, and that's fine. A lot of people are just newly awakened to this. The lesson about the twin flames, though, is forgiveness and detachment. And if you've been on this path for a few years, you've been through these cycles of detachment probably more than once. And you might be able to realize at this point, it's always around the same time of the year that you're feeling like, oh my God, I want to die inside. This will never happen, this and that. That's your call for detachment. And amongst other things, detachment, outside of the twin flame thing and twin flame connection, is a good way to be happy under any kind of circumstances. Detachment from things, material things, from outcomes, from your ego, from your wants and your needs. Just detachment to let the flow of energy, the flow of the universe work its magic into your life. And it's hard because the ego wants to grasp, wants to get attached and stick to something, stick to an idea, stick to a concept, stick to a perception, instead of just like, no, who cares, whatever. I'm going to leave it blank for a little bit and see what happens. That's detachment. And that's an art on its own. That's very difficult to do. We are not raised to live this way. And that's the Zen philosophy, the Buddhist philosophy is detachment. Detachment is the best way to be happy in life. So all of this to say the twin flame thing, because I just want to mention that I've been hearing all kinds of stuff like on YouTube and all, and no matter what you believe at this point, if you believe that you're a twin flame, then you are. You might be wrong, but who cares? That's your truth at that time, and that's fine. Nobody has the absolute truth. What people do, though, is talk about their own experience, and that's fine. When we don't resonate with something, that's okay. Let's shower it with love and move on to something else. For some people, the twin flame experience is a very, very extremely real experience and situation. And for a lot of people that are extremely sensitive, they do pick up on their twins 24/7, and it's a really hard thing to detach from. But really, it's just like for those who are parents and have kids, when you train your kids to walk or to ride a bike without the training wheels, at one point you have to let go of the seat or the hand so that they can do it on their own and grow into that power that they have inside. It's the same thing for the twin flame. Detaching from knowing, from the need to control, the need to know what is happening, the need to try to make things happen, which is too much of a masculine energy, and just being in the feminine energy of I allow. That's what people need to do at this point to get ready for eclipse season. That will rock our world in ways that we can't even imagine at this point. Something huge is bubbling within those eclipses that will show up in just a few weeks from now. Like a drastic change in perception, and that's what we're witnessing right now with these people lashing out. It's that prep time that they're feeling and that they're unable to control, and they have a sense of, oh my God, I'm losing control, so I'm gonna blow a gasket a little bit so it's gonna feel good and bring some comfort. But self-mastery is being able to control those lashing out episode and just walking away for a little bit and processing it without making anyone a victim of our own internal process. Nobody is liable for how we feel but us. Of course, our environments and surroundings do have a really large influence, and it can be hard at times. If you're a highly sensitive person, you may be picking up on the collective, and it may be very hard to disconnect from that. I believe that at times it feels like it's almost impossible to disconnect. I haven't found the answer for that yet, aside from protection, self-care, more love, and just working to help the collective. If we look at the work of Dolores Cannon, when she mentions her three waves of volunteers, from what she says, clearly there are some people that are here with a knowledge, a deep spiritual knowledge that needs to be shared with other people, the collective, in order to shift this consciousness that is present on earth at this time. And these people, from her work, she was mentioning how these people were feeling unhappy in life, like they did not belong, like it was hard to just blend in and just fit in because their ideas or their concepts were often not received by other people. And that I can relate to. It's not easy. The resistance is not an easy thing to deal with, but it calls for more compassion. And also in her work, she did mention a few times in her videos when she was doing like public conferences, she would mention how these people were often suicidal. And to me, that's really no joke, because imagine how hard it was for these people. or how hard it is for these people. And suicide is a very sensitive subject. And I believe that as a collective, in some way, we're all responsible, and we need to be more responsible for what we put out there. And this eclipse season coming up, that's what it's going to shift. That feeling of not fitting in, that feeling of I don't belong, people don't understand me. Indigo children and crystal children, rainbows, are feeling this way because they're always being put aside because they're different, or people throw rocks at them, air quotes, throw rocks at them for the concept that they bring, instead of just being open and saying, you know what, I don't totally understand what you're talking about, but I don't reject your statement or whatnot. But all these people in the upcoming generations, they're even more sensitive than we are, even more sensitive than the people that were born in the 60s, 70s, in the 50s. They come in with a completely entire new way of living, which is heart-based, which is the new earth, which is the event that everyone was talking about not too long ago. And they are born just like this. So it's our duty now to prepare for them, to prepare for what's coming to us, for us. And always remember that it's only experiences that we go through. It doesn't happen to us. We just go through experiences. We're not victims of anything, even though at times it's really hard to shift our own energy. I'm guilty of this. Sometimes it's really, really hard for me to shift my energy because I'm drained. I'm just drained out. And lately, I've been even more drained. Even more and even more and even more. And I can clearly see my own guidance. I can clearly see what's going on in the collective. And hey, I'm drained. Change is hard. I can feel my body working so super hard to refresh and renew my energy, my cells, and to go through that shift. And a lot of people are feeling this as well. And it's not an easy thing to deal with, all the while going on about our lives and our daily activities. It's doable though, when we have the proper tools. So, lately being tired, but a different kind of tired. Like tired to the deepness of your body, to the core, tired like, oof, that's your soul changing. Not your soul changing, wrong words here, but that's your soul calling you and guiding you and your body to change and to take you into the direction that you need to go. So you need to rest more, hydrate more, eat well, and take time to have fun and laugh. Laughing is a really good therapy in those moments, even if we don't feel like laughing. It's important to do it. Otherwise, we are stuck into that density. And right now, that is what this shift is about, is shifting that density, like break through it. Like the end of a marathon, when we get to the finish line and the ribbon is there and we just break it. We need to break that density, break it down. And that's what we're doing. So it's exhausting, very exhausting. And if you look around, you're going to notice that you're not the only one being exhausted. A lot of people are. They're just unaware of it, or they won't talk about it, but they are exhausted. A lot of people are not sleeping well, and it's normal when we go through big changes like that. It's hard to have deep, profound sleep. And also the appetite, like not being hungry, or not being hungry one day and being starving the next day, with no end. Like you want to eat all day long. That's normal. That's a balance that's the body trying to balance itself out and recalibrate to that new energy, to that new frequency, to that new higher vibration that it's working at. And it's more than important to follow what our body is asking us. Body work works super well for a lot of people. Either getting a massage, doing yoga, stuff like that, so that you can move those toxins and move that energy that might be stuck in some tissues. And since the collective is going through this shift, since we are going through this shift all together, it's really important to support one another and be there in a very, very authentic way and speak your truth. I think I say that in every video, but really speak your truth. Too many people are still not authentic in a way where they're at a point where only them believe themselves. They're the only ones believing their own story. Everyone else can see how they're lacking, how they're not being real and authentic or honest, and they're the only one left believing the BS that they are telling themselves, just because they are afraid of growing, afraid of looking inside and finding answers that may be shaking them. But if you're used to doing that kind of work, you know that these answers are what you need to just use as fuel forward, to move forward instead of being stuck in one place and repeating the same cycles over and over and over again. We just cleared a huge cycle of karma. Let's not create another one. Let's create a positive one, at least. So this full moon, this full moon feels very physical, very, there's a lot of anxiety attached to it. That anxiety just to be released, just to be like, hey, I'm there, but I'm useless in your life, so please release me. And a lot of physical changes, like in your body, in your face, in your appearance, in your posture. And this full moon is also fast acting. It feels like, you know how when we take, I don't have like a good example, but there are some medication that are fast acting within an hour, within a couple of hours, and others may take more than one dose. Fast acting. This one is fast, it's quick. So let's be prepared for this one. Let's be ready to take on whatever is going to come after. And it's all beautiful things, good stuff for our own growth, our own liberty. It's also a really good time to forgive. It's always a good time to forgive. But this time around, really forgive. Forgive whoever has hurt you, whoever comes up in your mind, what seems to be randomly. If it's in your mind, it's in your heart, it is in your energy somehow, somewhere. Or it might be that person trying to work their way to forgiveness towards you or towards themselves. So by you forgiving first, you're going to support the rest of the forgiveness process. And forgiveness on a deep level, forgiveness of, yeah, I've been through this. This was my life for X amount of time. Now I'm done. I don't identify with this any longer. I'm ready for something new. Forgiveness for liberty. Forgiveness for freedom. Forgiveness Does not mean that you agree with what happened or with the person, just to be free. Really excellent time to do this, to prep the land for eclipse season after. Other than that, the divine masculine, that's what they're working on. They may not be aware of it, but that's what they're working on. Forgiveness. Forgiveness of a bunch of things. A huge release of, okay, I'm done feeling this way. I'm done thinking this way. And that's it. We need to support them. Like a lot of divine masculine, the masculine energy has been very short fused lately into, blowing a gasket for no reason, or for what appears to be no reason. And we need to love them even more to help them reach the new level so that they can meet up with the feminine energy. It's time for balance. It's time to integrate more of the feminine energy and to stop being like, oh, when this doesn't work my way, I'm going to shake it and try to provoke things and make things happen instead of just loving more. Okay, love is always the answer. Loving more is always an answer, and that's how we manifest true, long-lasting things. So that's it for now. Thank you for being here. If you want to get in touch with me, you can use my email at indigogirl555@gmail.com, my Facebook page at Indigo Girls Readings, on Instagram at indigogirl555, and until the next time, be well.